Andrew Tate, the world-famous controversial social media personality who's known for his strong opinions on women, money, and everything in between, proudly declares to the internet that there is one specific country where he remains single and celibate. And that is the place where nobody else actually stays celibate: Thailand. In one of his classic and exclusive Tate speeches, the top G emphasizes that he's the only guy who goes to Thailand and yet completely avoids sleeping with Thai girls. Tate also mentions that he's been to Thailand about 15 times and has actually lived there for perhaps almost a year when he was in the army. So what exactly is it about Thailand that simply irritates the hell out of Andrew Tate? The answer? The tourists. Why does he hate tourists in Thailand, you ask? Well, let's narrow them down to 3 categories. Starting off at number 3, the pretentious spiritual travelers. For Andrew Tate, Thailand is such a unique place. However, he notices that the tourists think that they can go there and change in some way. For example, if someone goes to Spain, they don't come back and act like they're a totally different person. But when people go to Thailand, they come back saying, "I learned so much about myself, and it was like I went to the Buddha and got blessed." Well, sorry to break it to the spiritual travelers, but Tate is confident that the Buddha does not actually care about you one bit. Adding to that, he questions how many backpacking tourists that the priests see every day. He says that a lot of nomad losers have gone up to the priests and said, "Bless me and let me just go 1,000 a day." Well, he's pretty sure that those priests can barely even remember tourists' faces, and that they wouldn't really care even if they had cancer. Well, Tate emphasizes that priests in Thailand do not really care about you and have nothing good to give you. They just want you to give money away. They want the tip jar to have something in it. And the top G adds that you should probably leave a tip, since you might also be one of those stingy tourists. Either way, they don't care about you at all. Tourists are like a paycheck to them. And spiritual tourists act like they learned something, even though they didn't learn anything. They are still the same loser. When they get back from Thailand, they will be the same person they were when they got there. They didn't actually get any better. Now number 2, guys looking for one-night stands. Tate is actually famous for his strong confidence that he's better than most people. To him, everyone else that is not him are all losers. He rules the whole world, and he's the only guy who goes to Thailand and doesn't sleep with any Thai girls. The reason being that to him, Thai girls are actually quite ugly. Besides being conventionally unattractive, Tate mentions that they also have a hoarse voice. And for him, why would he want to have sex with a girl who is ugly and can simply do it with anyone? How can you sleep with a girl when you can walk around and see all the other men who have probably already had sex with her? Andrew finds this disgusting, and by all means, very unattractive. He explains that most of the time, if men go there anyway, they end up getting drunk one way or another, and they have to pay money to have sex, which is embarrassing. To quote Tate on this, sex isn't just about getting your penis wet. Sex is about the woman admiring you and being impressed by how strong you are. Now Tate says that he has never paid a girl to go to bed with him, and that he won't start with an ugly Thai girl. When he was in Thailand, the only girls he saw, who he thought were pretty, were tourists from Russia or Ukraine. Now he believes those girls from those countries are pretty. And since Thailand is the only place where guys can get women to sleep with them on a small budget, it is very likely that those guys are not only losers who cheat on women, but also some pretty broke dudes. So when you add it all up and put it all together, Thailand is the perfect mix for $20 worth of hooker crap. Well, Thailand, especially Bangkok, isn't poor though, so that's a whole other story. Millionaires live in Bangkok, which is a very wealthy city. And Tate believes that if a girl is about a 9 or a 10, they would be sleeping with Thai millionaires. They are not going to sleep with some cowboy for $20. They shouldn't do that. So that's how he knows that guys in Thailand only bang 4s and 5s, especially if they're on a budget. Lastly, at number 1, the cheapskates. Tate says in his speech that everyone who goes backpacking in Thailand is tight-fisted and thinks that the most important thing is to travel as much as possible and make it last as long as possible. Well, why not be a tightwad, save all your money, and just take your time? He then goes on to tell this story. So it was about 100 degrees outside in Koh Samui, Thailand, which is about 30 degrees Celsius. Now, a woman was walking along the beach carrying a long stick with 2 baskets full of water. So he was standing there when a 60-year-old woman carrying water walked by on the beach. And he wanted to buy some water, but then these 2 girls from maybe Canada came up to her and walked past him. When they asked how much the water was, the woman said something about 20 baht, and then the girls went on and asked if they can have 3 for 50 baht. So Tate turned around and said, "You're going to haggle with an old lady carrying water in the hot sun over 10 baht? That's the same as stealing 30 cents. You're going to bargain with an old lady who's carrying more than you could probably carry up and down the beach in the hot sun. You will have to deal with her for water." And when he said that, these 2 girls just walked off. So he found it absurd that it seemed like it was him who was crazy, because what is wrong with people giving the woman her money? He saw that people go to Thailand and haggle with the locals for 10 cents in the hot sun, so they can delay their trip and make it last as long as possible. So they can write blog posts about how spiritual they were, or how much they've learned, how much they love the local people, and how good of a person they are. Honestly, why not just pay the fee? So for 1 bottle of water, Tate gave the woman 100 baht, because we don't know how many grandmas can walk up and down the beach with 14 kilos of water on their backs. Now, to sum it all up, Tate believes that everyone who travels in Thailand is either a cheapskate or a moron. A lot are having spiritual ideas and doing hippie nonsense, or they're drinking whiskey and sleeping with a bunch of 3s who have hepatitis. While Tate still believes that all of the country is beautiful, and Thai people as a whole are pretty nice and very understanding of the stupid things that travelers do there. And he does enjoy visiting it. He just can't stand it when people from the West show up. So Tate is single when he goes to Thailand. He doesn't do anything sexual, or he brings his girl along. He looks at the pretty nature and then he leaves. This, according to Andrew Tate, is how to have fun in Thailand. And that anyone who goes to Thailand and doesn't do it his way is a failure, because it's either his way or the highway. So, what can you say about Andrew Tate's opinions on people who travel to Thailand? Would you consider these as self-serving? Or maybe some of his points actually make sense? Let us know in the comment section below. Until next time!